Let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a chapter called Celebrating Festivals, A Journey to the Himalayas. It's a fantastic look at how our surroundings, the changing seasons, and our shared traditions all weave together into one vibrant cultural tapestry. So, how exactly does a simple bus ride to the Himalayas teach us about the vast cultural tapestry of India? It sounds like a pretty big leap, right? But what starts as a basic family trip actually transforms into a profound lesson about nature and community. You see, when we travel, we aren't just moving from point A to point B. If we really pay attention, the journey itself teaches us about geography, safety, community, and the deep, deep roots of why we celebrate the things we do. Let's meet our guide for this journey, Rishi. He's traveling from his home in Jammu with his parents, heading way up into the mountains to visit his extended family, his mama, mommy, and his cousins Chia and Nonika. They live in this picturesque village nestled right near the Himalayan peaks. Honestly, it's the absolute perfect setup for an adventure. To get to this remote village, they hop on a bus. And let me tell you, the world outside Rishi's window is just incredible. The roads have these sharp, dramatic hairpin turns, winding up the mountainsides, completely flanked by colorful flowers, and these massive, towering trees stretching toward the sky. It's a literal feast for the eyes. But hey, before we get too lost in that breathtaking view, the chapter grounds us with a crucial, universal safety rule for mountain travel. Always keep your head, hands, and arms inside the bus. It's absolutely essential for any road trip, but especially when you're navigating high altitudes. It's great to know that all the passengers are calmly and safely seated inside. It's a solid reminder that truly observing our wondrous surroundings starts with basic safety. You really can't enjoy the hairpin turns and mountain vistas if you aren't being a responsible passenger. And part of that safety is understanding the language of the road. So, let's test our own observation skills on this journey. When you're navigating complex terrains, road signs communicate essential rules to keep everyone safe. Let's think about some visual cues Rishi might spot out his window. Out on the mountain roads, you can easily identify a few very universal symbols. First, no motor vehicles. That's a clear cue you're approaching a quieter, pedestrian-friendly village zone. And along with it, the classic, no horn please. When you're in ecologically sensitive mountain areas, keeping the peace and quiet is honestly just as important as keeping the air clean. Moving right along, the next two keep us alert to our immediate surroundings. School children ahead reminds drivers to slow down in community areas. Then there's road work ahead, which is incredibly common on those winding mountain passes, simply because they require constant maintenance. Recognizing these signs is a vital part of being a mindful traveler. Okay, so after the bus ride, the journey totally shifts. A broad concrete road gives way to a narrow mud path leading right into his uncle's village. They arrive at a traditional home nestled right at the base of the snow-capped Himalayan peaks, complete with a beautiful garden full of roses, marigolds, and hibiscus. Upon arrival, the cultural immersion begins immediately, literally right at the lunch table. They're served haakh, a traditional Kashmiri leafy vegetable dish paired with steaming hot rice. Food is such an incredible gateway into understanding a region's culture, and for Rishi, it's the perfect warm welcome. As they eat, the conversation naturally shifts to the vibrant nature blooming all around them. Rishi learns about baranch, also known as rhododendron. These are lovely, bright red flowers that bloom beautifully in the spring season. And he explains how these flowers aren't just pretty to look at, they're actually a core part of how his community welcomes the season. This brings us to a really beautiful realization shared by Rishi's mommy at the table. Spring is a celebration of nature's bright renewal. I mean, think about it. After enduring harsh, freezing mountain winters, the bright sun, the blooming flowers, and the fresh green leaves are all signs of life returning. It's a totally natural reason to rejoice. Building on that, the family starts sharing their specific local traditions. Nonika mentions the famous Kashmir Tulip Festival that happens at this time of year. Rishi shares how back at his home, they place bright mustard and red branch flowers right at the doorsteps of each house to welcome the spring. It's also a time for connection, where elders give their blessings to the younger generation. It's fascinating how nature directly dictates the themes of these regional festivals, isn't it? But this joy definitely isn't limited to the northern mountains. The conversation at the table expands across the country. Chia talks about her friend from Kerala, who celebrates Vishu, creating a Vishu Kani using vibrant yellow amaltas flowers, fruits, and vegetables to bring prosperity. The chapter also highlights the Sarhul festival in Jharkhand, where people walk in musical processions with drums to the sakua tree, offering freshly germinated grains to the earth and sun. Different geography, different flowers, but the exact same spirit of gratitude and celebration. And it's just amazing how every unique festival across India's diverse geography is paired with its own celebratory food. Just as the landscape changes, so do the flavors. Whether it's thekwa for Chhat Puja, plum cake for Christmas, sweet gujia for Holi, a massive sadhya feast for Onam, holige for Ugadi, or sweet Savian for Eid al-Fitr. Festivals and food are completely inseparable. They're basically the physical manifestation of the joy we feel during these special times of the year. Toward the end of the visit, Rishi shares this incredibly simple yet profound reflection. I feel so happy when I see the beautiful and colorful flowers around me. That captures the absolute core takeaway here. Nature and culture are deeply intertwined to create shared happiness. The environment gives us flowers and crops, and in return, human culture creates festivals, food, and traditions to celebrate those gifts. To perfectly summarize this joyful synthesis of the season, the chapter leaves us with this wonderful little poem about spring's arrival. Oh, spring is in the air, happy children are everywhere. New leaves appear on the trees as flowers sway in the breeze. It just perfectly encapsulates the light, the color, and the pure joy that comes when a community comes together in harmony with the natural world. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I'll leave you with this final thought. How do festivals and celebrations bring us together? Think about the shared meals, the regional flowers, the traditions passed down from our elders. I highly encourage you to reflect on this the next time you see the seasons change in your own neighborhood, or the next time you sit down to share a traditional meal with your loved ones. Thanks for exploring this with me today, and keep appreciating the wonderful tapestry of the world around you.